What's up, everybody? Pastor Mike here, and today we're diving into one of the most dramatic yet deeply spiritual moments in the New Testament. A story that is often preached in detail, but one that speaks directly to anyone who's ever felt tossed around by life. You ever been hit with something you didn't see coming? A crisis, a betrayal, a storm out of nowhere? Today's message is called The Storm and the Anchor, and we're going to unpack Acts chapter 27, Paul's shipwreck. But listen, this ain't just about a man on a boat. This is a spiritual blueprint for surviving your own personal storm and discovering that even in the chaos, God is still in control. So grab your Bible or just listen in and let's walk through this storm together. The first thing is the setup. That's Acts chapter 27, verses 13 through 20. When a gentle south wind began to blow, they saw their opportunity, so they weighed anchor and sailed along the shore of Crete. It started with a gentle breeze. That's how storms usually come, right? Everything feels like it's going your way. The wind is in your favor. You finally caught a break. Maybe it's a new job, a relationship, a season of peace, but then out of nowhere, before very long, a wind of hurricane force called the Northeaster swept down from the island. And that's when the chaos hits. The boat, your life, starts rocking. The control you thought you had is gone. Ever been there? One phone call, one betrayal, one wrong turn, and suddenly you're in a storm you never saw coming. The word says in verse 20, when neither sun nor stars appeared for many days and the storm continued raging, we finally gave up all hope of being saved. Let me pause right there. That's not just the ship talking, that's life. You ever felt like that? Like you couldn't see the light anymore? When you've been battling something for so long and you just feel like giving up? That's exactly where they were. But don't miss this. God often does his greatest work in the darkest storms. Number 2, the messenger in the storm. Acts 27 verses 21 through 26. Paul stands up and speaks, not as a sailor, but as a man of God. But now I urge you to keep up your courage, because not one of you will be lost. Only the ship will be destroyed. Did you catch that? Paul didn't say everything's going to be fine. He said you're going to survive, but the ship won't. Whew. That's a word. Sometimes what's carrying you right now, the relationship, the job, the business, the plan, that might go down, but God will still save you. Paul continues, last night an angel of God to whom I belong and whom I serve stood beside me and said, do not be afraid, Paul. You must stand trial before Caesar. Here's what's powerful. Paul knew the storm couldn't kill him because his purpose wasn't finished. And that's true for you too. If God gave you a word, a calling, a purpose, a dream, the storm can shake you, but it cannot break you. Why? Because you're not going under, you're going through. Number 3, the breaking point. Acts 27 verses 27 through 38. They've been drifting for 14 nights, hungry, wet, cold, lost, and it says they took soundings and found that the water was 120 feet deep and later 90 feet deep. They were approaching land but couldn't see it. Sometimes God is bringing you closer to breakthrough and all you feel is pressure. The waters get shallower and fear rises, but Paul says, for the last 14 days, you have been in constant suspense. Now I urge you to take some food. You need it to survive. That's not just about bread. That's about faith. You've been spiritually starving. You're stopped praying, stopped praising. You're exhausted, but Paul says, eat, get strong. We're almost there. 4, the crash that saved them. Acts 27 verses 39 through 44. The ship stuck a sandbar and ran aground. The boat stuck fast and would not move, and the stern was broken to pieces. Sometimes God lets the ship break, so you'll stop depending on it. But here's the miracle. The rest were to get there on planks or on other pieces of the ship. In this way, everyone reached land safely. That's what God does. He'll let things fall apart so your faith can rise up. You might be floating on pieces of your former plan, but if God said you're going to make it, then you will. Not because of the boat, but because of the anchor. And his name is Jesus. Let me ask you something right now. What storm are you in right now? What ship are you clinging to that God might be trying to let go of? Are you trusting the boat or the God who owns the sea? Here's the truth. Storms are real. Life is rough. But Paul didn't survive because he was strong. He survived because he was anchored. Hebrews 6:19 says, "We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure." The world might shake, but God does not. Your plans might crash, but His promise will stand. So whether you're floating, paddling, or crawling, if He said you'll make it, you will. Today, I just want to encourage you. Don't curse the storm. Learn in it. Don't fear the crash. Trust the anchor. And when you make it through, don't forget to praise the one who brought you safely to shore.